stuff. All right, so ready up, gents, if you want to play, and then I'll drop some more people in. And I can already see how this map is changed, by the way, Hector. Can you?
See.
I can.
There's already, you can already see the buildings top.
Yeah.
You can already see the buildings southeast as well.
The most important part is that change in the southeast. So now the team
buildings,
that spawns southwest actually has a chance to get into the town now without losing all of their health. So.
The buildings in the southeast are totally different as well.
Yeah.
And the buildings, there's a whole new road added there as well. Straight along road.
Yeah. Also look at the buildings to the northwest as well.
Yeah. That'll be an interesting place to go to now.
Do you know that there are British voices now as well?
Yes.
Who did the voices?
I don't know who did them specifically, but I was one of the people reviewing them.
Oh, you were reviewing them, were you?
Yeah.
Cool.
It was funny. He had to go through like 20 different sound clips of Ricochet.
I actually TK'd someone just to see what it sounded like right at the end of the game, which was a bit naughty, but
the messages at the start, it's got a variation. Sometimes you might hear, and the guy goes up an atom.
Yeah, he says up an atom. But I was testing out all of them and then just did yeah. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so immediately I'm going to start with the north because it makes more sense, and then go to the south afterwards. So really the cap circle hasn't been changed. There's just loads of buildings to hide behind. No real changes here. This lip seems to have less trees on, but maybe I'm mistaken. There's now a way to go up through the middle of the lip as well as through the sides of the lip. Look at that. This is just an interesting change right here, that you can go up through the central part of the lip as well as the other parts of the lip, which is pretty cool. Alright, I wonder if they've changed the way that you cross the river.
This is totally different now. The hill's much the same here. Actually, the terrain's much the same, just added in buildings for additional cover to move forward.
They've made the water thinner. You know the water that's at A5, they've made it a lot less.
So you're not slowed down as you go through it?
Yeah, you don't get slowed down as you go through it. Also, they've added a ridgeline.
Yeah, I was going to say the ridgeline's new. This is
A3, so you can get some cover to hide behind before you continue your assault as a medium tank.
Oh, you can get some good air there. Wow.
That building is indestructible. Oh, there are indestructible buildings up here, which will allow you some hard cover. What this is important as well is, what you could do is just hide behind these buildings, and you know that what the problem is at the moment is that the people at A1 cannot get shot by the people at A6/7 because they're outside their render distance. Whereas, so what I found is the people who went aggressively on the west just got overwhelmed and killed, and their team couldn't back them up with any fire. However, now if you can hide behind these buildings, you can actually force the enemies to come within your team's render distance, and you'll actually get effective fire support from your team, which is really nice actually. That's a great change there. So that's cool. Looks like lots of these buildings are indestructible, which is worth checking out. Doesn't look like the actual the ridge lines have been changed on the one line there, which didn't need changing at all. There's also a wonderful hard cover location to use here, especially if you're in a tall tank. If you're in a very tall tank such as the Mouse, you could probably actually use this to shoot up at the ridge lines while keeping your hull pretty covered.
I'm having too much fun driving up and down the A-line because you can get some really good air in that ridge line.
Yeah.
And your tank doesn't take suspension damage.
Alright, so I wonder if they've changed these buildings over here. Doesn't look like they've changed too much on the buildings. There's still this very prominent position at D1 that you can use. It's a bit deep, it's actually steeper to get up, but once you're over it, it's actually shallower, which is nice. All of these buildings are still destructible, so they won't provide you with any kind of hard cover here. I just lost all my speed crashing into that building. All these silos are indestructible, which is nice. Okay, so it doesn't look like they've actually changed much along the one line. All that there is there's that, like A1 to B2 has been changed because of buildings have been added. This position just looks just as open as it used to. It's still nice, I do like it. construction derby going on over here. Yep, this is where the artillery will hide. Oh, sorry about that, WZ, didn't mean to do that. Oh, I got tracked as well.
So this looks initially much the same until you then come up the hill, then it's totally different.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this.
They removed the big massive warehouse and then they added all these additional buildings.
Okay, so that you can still either use the bridge or the dip along the K line. Obviously, most people use the bridge if they want to maintain their speed, and use the dip if they think that the enemy will be having fire on them later on in the game.
It's a really awesome skyscraper that's off the map.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Here's... Oh, okay, the warehouse is further back now. Okay, so it looks like they maybe just brought this whole thing forward. Wow, this is actually going to be quite awesome for city fighting.
Yeah, they've extended the city out massively, Ektar, which is the best change ever. I'm not sure if these buildings are destructible or not.
No, the concrete, the stonework ones, they're not destructible.
That's good. So basically this map is almost fixed completely. I'll have to play it on the regular server, but...
There's train wreckage here as well to help give you cover when you're advancing.
Fantastic.
Like one of the trains has been overturned.
Okay, so just to clarify for everyone watching the stream and who's going to be watching this on YouTube, that this is where the town started for the south western spawn. You would not be into the town until you were here. Now they've leveled it out so it's flat, so you don't have a location which you have to go up a slope. You go up the slope a lot more quickly, but once you've actually into the town, you're into the town about 150 meters before. He just rammed himself to death on me. What the hell? Cool
the red line is quite difficult to see on the far side. It's right down the side of the road. So if you come at it from the side, you're not going to see it till you hit it. If you're parallel to it, you can see it quite easily. But if you're coming direct to it, you're not going to know until you try and go for a gap that isn't there.
Wow, this is crazy. 150 meters of extra town in the locations which people were really worried about. So, I mean, I'm going to say it again, I think that they've basically taken one of the maps that was completely unbalanced and more or less fixed it. So, +1. Great stuff. Wow, they've removed one of the buildings here, which is very interesting. I think, or not. Maybe I'm confused. I'm not sure if there was an extra building here or if they've just made it a bit deeper. I'm a bit confused about that. Because I remember side scraping out here was a bit of an issue for me. So, no, looks like it's not changed. Have they changed anything along this zero line, Ektar?
Not that I could see. Coming back up from behind it just now. As I was saying, the thing about the zero line is when you're parallel to that red line, you can see it really easily. But if you're coming at it, it's difficult to see, so you're going to think you can go behind those buildings. Because it looks like perhaps the high-rises are the map limit, but they're not.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, like they've added the high-rises to just give it a bit more of a feel, haven't they, really? Yeah,
and these buildings sit in front of the high-rises, so you think you could maybe get around those buildings, because it looks like there's space. But
You're right that they've actually added in a few trains now to give you a bit more cover from the other flank. There are now destructible trains. I think those are new. Alright.
Just trying to read the signs. The signs in the shops that are all sticking out now.
Brilliant changes. +1 map seems to be completely fixed now. And it also brings up a completely viable option that there are now two ways to play this map. One is the kind of like the northwestern attack run, so to say, which will probably be dominated by medium tanks, light tanks, and some of the faster heavies and tank destroyers. Whereas the super heavies and the really powerful tank destroyers will still go into the other part of the southeastern map. So yeah, I'm really impressed. Great, this is over. Oh. See how this goes. Why are they destroyed by hardcover? So dead. Good stuff.
Nah.
So, I think the last map has been changed is northwest. So that'll be the one that we'll be going and taking a look at next.